Salvete, Capitulum Septimum, Chapter 7, Puella et Rosa, The Girl and the Rose. Ecce Marcus equitus ante ostium villae. Look at Marcus and Quentin in front of the door of the villa. Pueri Julium expectat. The boys are waiting for Julius. How the boys are expecting Julius. That'll be more probably because of the form. But we see the word expectat. That's a new verb. We know expecting. Still in that. Okay. Mater non es apud filios ea in peristilo es. The mother is not with the sons. She is in the peristyle. Ilic verum sum expectat. There she expects. Expectat sum verum, her man. You can say waiting, but ain't no for any. We'll get to that at some point. Aemilia laeta non is quia Julius abis. Amelia is not happy because Julius is gone away. Nam Amelia virum sum amat. For Amelia loves her man. Ubi es Julia? Where is Julia? En cubiculo suo es. In her room. Julia, quae sola es ilic, rosam ante nasum tenet. Julia, who is alone there, holds a rose in front of her nose. And I think there's a new tenet, hole, tenet, hole. Puera lacrimat. The girl cries, and oculis eius sunt lacrimae, and the eyes of hers are tears. Another new word, lacrima, a tear, lacrimae, tears, lacrimat, the verb, meaning crying, cries. Julia speculum sumit, et ante oculos tenet. Julia, picks up this mirror and holds it in front of her eyes. And remember, don't always try to, I would pause it and try to solve it myself before I solve it. But use the picture to help with the words. Because these new words, sumit, we already had that though. Means a good bit of things, but in this case, picks up. Oculos, eyes, a new word. And accusative. Puella se in speculo videt, et se interrogat. The girl looks at herself in the mirror and says to herself, another new word, say. She videt plus the accusative version, herself, in the mirror, in speculo, sees, and asks herself. But even if you don't even want to unscramble your story, right? Like the girl herself in the mirror, she sees, and herself, she acts. That's like poetry, but advanced. Esne fuedus nasus meus is my nose ugly. And she's still thinking about what her brother say. Nasus eus autem formosus nonis. The nose of hers, however, is not ugly. Julia rosus lacrimat. Julia cries again. Sira ostium cubiculi pulsat. Syria knocks on the room door. Enter, says Julia. Sira ostium aperit et in cubiculum intrat. Sira opens the door and enters in the room. Neque ostium posse claudit, and she don't close the door behind herself. Let's see. And clouded, she don't close the door. Ostium post behind say herself. Julia Siram posse in speculo videt. Julia sees Sira behind herself in the mirror. And English we would just say something like behind her. You wouldn't say herself, but they trying to teach you both say. Sir non videt lacrimas Juliae, nam Puella se non vertit. Sira does not see the tears of Julia, for the girl does not turn herself. Vertit, turn. O hic es mea Puella, veni in hortum Julia, said Sira. Oh, here's is my girl. Come in the garden, Julia. Julia imperat. Julia commands. Claude ostium, close the door. Ancilla paret. The maid obeys. And that's another new word. Paret, verb, obey. She telling her to close. Claude. Num nasus meus fuedus es Sira. Is my nose ugly, Sira? Is it not my nose ugly? So basically saying my nose ain't ugly, right, Sira? In our modern day. Fuedus, ugly. Imo formosus es nasus tuus. And I think it's a new word. Emo, on the other hand, beautiful as your nose. Your nose is beautiful. Ugly, on the other hand, your nose is pretty or beautiful. Another new word we had pulcra, pulquera, which means pretty or beautiful. This also means the same thing. Formosa. Julia se divertit. Julia turns herself. Jam sira lacrimas with it. Lacrimas with it. Now Sira sees the tears. Cuides, mia Julia. What's up, my Julia? Terque oculos es laita. Wipe your eyes. Be happy. Nasus tuos tam formosus es quam meus. Your nose is as pretty as mine's. And that kind of fast, but we already had this in the last one. Tam formosus es quam. But we had one where we had longus. The road is not as long as. It's the same format. Tam formosus es quam meus. Mine's. Your nose, tasus tuus, tam formosus es quam meus. Julia says, se nasus tuus non formosus es, but your nose is not pretty. Quid? Julia says, what? Not Julia, Sira says, what? Non ne formosus es nasus meus? Isn't not my nose pretty? Imo foedus is, says Julia. And on the other hand, it's ugly. Ecce speculum, Sira. Look at the mirror, Sira. Julia speculum tenet ante Sira. Julia holds the mirror in front of Sira. Quae nasum sum in speculo videt, in which she sees her nose in the mirror. Anquila oculos claudit et tacit. The maid closes her eyes and is quiet. Let me see. Oculos claudit et tacit. It's quiet. And then we got tacit agreement. And we saying that wrong. It's tacit. Silent agreement in English law. Ecce Julius ad villam advenit. Behold, look, Julius is coming to the villa. Also arriving. When he is coming. So that'd be something like arriving. Same thing. Servi lecticam ante ostium ponunt. The servants places the letica in front of the door. Pater filios salutat. Salvete filii. The father greets the sons. What's up? Salvete, hello, sons. Et a filiis salutator, and the sons is greeted, and he is greeted by the sons. Salutator, greeted. Ed, we talked about this in the last one at the end. Salutator, he's greeted by the sons. Filiis. Salve pater, what's up, father? Julius ambulat ad ostium, quod ab ostiario aperitor. Julius walks to the door, which is opened aperitor, opened by a ostiario. Yeah, the ostiarius. I guess he's a door opener. You know, he got 100 cantum serui, 100 slaves. So they probably got all kind of jobs. Dominus per ostium in villam intrat. The master, through the door, enters the villa. Or the master enters the villa through the door. Post eum veniunt Cyrus et Leander, qui duos sacos portant. Behind him comes Cyrus and Leander, who is carrying 2 sacks. Ostiarius pos eos ostium claudit. The ostiarius closes the door behind them. Pos eos. Ursus et Davus cum leptica vacua discedunt. Ursus and Davus leaves discedunt with cum the vacua letica. Vacua letica. The empty letica. Pueri sacos plenos qui a servis portantur vident et interrogant. The boys seize the full sack which is carried by the servants, and ask. So let me do that slow. The boys seize the full sacos plenos, which qui is carried portantur by a servis, the servants, and ask it interrogant. Remember, these the plurals. We didn't, because you got 2 boys seeing, and 2 asking. Interrogant. Remember the anti. They ask, quid in es in sacis? What's in the sacks? Julius responded. Julius responds, en saco quem Leander portat mala insut. And the sack whom Leander carries is apple and are in. I can say, in the sack they are apples, which in the sack that Leander's carrying, they are apples. Hic sacum pone, Leander. Put the sack here, Leander. Leander sacum ponit ante Julium, qui aprit eum. Leander puts the sack in front of Julius, who opens it. Vidite pueri, look boys, hic saccus plenus malorum est. The sack is full of apples. Malorum, member of apples. Iulius malum e sacco sumit et se vertit at Marcum. Julius picks up the apple from the sack. So we got a new word, a, and on this word, a is x, ex. If you got a vowel coming next, but if not, you don't need the x. That still means out of. So he picks up the apple, malum, out of the sack, it, and turns himself to Marcus. Ecce malum tuum, Marque. Look, your apple, Marcus. Julius Marco malum dat. Not definitely a new word. This is a new case. This is the dative case. So it's the first time they get into the dative in this book. And the dative case is to something. You're giving something to something. The word dat means give, giving, or give, gives, and with an S. Julius gives Marcus the apple. Or gives the apple to Marcus. The word to, that's what we know we dealing with the dative. You gotta use to. In the dative form, Marco. We know that means to. And as you can see, all the forms are similar, but the verb's going to help you know which ones. Pater filio suo magnum malum dat. The father gives, again, dat, to his sons, filio suo, a large apple, to his son, a large apple, not sons. Ja Marcus malum habet, neque Quintus malum habet. Now Marcus has an apple, but Quentin doesn't have an apple. Julius Quintum ad se vocat et ei malum dat. Julius calls Quintus to himself and gives to him a malum, an apple. I know that's a long way of saying things, but he's trying to help you understand these words. Hold on. Julius Quinto malum dat. Julius gives to Quintus an apple. Jam et Marcus et Quintus mala habent. Now both Marcus and Quintus have an apple. Now have apples. Right now you see it two times like that. One means both, and now both Marcus and Quintus have apples. Quid ines in sacco siri? What's inside the sack? What is in the sack of Sirius? In sacco eus piri insunt, pira insunt, and this and her saccopus, in her sack, they are pears. Aperi sacum sire, open the sack, Sirius. Vidite pueri, look boys, hic sac plenus est pioro. The sack is full of pears. On this sack. No, the sack here. Iulius duo pira e sacco sumit. Julius picks up 2 pears from the sack. Ecce pirum tuum marce et tuum quinte. Look, here's your pear. Look at your pear, Marcus, and yours, Quintus. Pater filiis suis pira dat. The father gives his sons a pear. And the dativus are the dative plural. You see another change. Instead of filio suo, one son, we see filiis suis. He gave to his sons a pear, pear, pears. Filii qui iam non solum mala, sed etiam pira habent, laeti sunt. The sons who now are not only have an apple, but also have pears. Happy they are. Servi autem neque mala neque pira habent. The servants, however, doesn't have a apple or a pear. Doesn't have apple and don't have a pear. And you see neque twice like that, neither nor. That's how we say in English. However, the servants neither have an apple nor a pear. So these were they teaching in this. The two, some more doubles, usage it and it also. And they did that right there. Let's look what they underline, and that's what they're teaching. Not only, but also. Etiam servis da mala et pira pater. Also give the servants an apple and a pear, father. And we see that in the imperative form, telling the sons telling the father to give the servants an apple and a pear. Apples and pears. Let's say Iulius Sirum et Leandrum servos adse vocat et iis mala et pira dat. Julius calls the servants Cyrus and Leander to himself and gives to them. Remember, the dativos, eats apples and pears. And Dominus servis mala et pira dat. The master gives the servants apples and pears. Aemilia cum Delia e peristilo in atrium intrat. Amelia with Delia from the peristyle to enters in the atrium. Amelia enters enters from the peristyle into the atrium with Delia. No matter which way it's said, it still mean the same thing, right? And later, ad unium adit eumque salutat. Happy. She's happy. Adit, to go. Happily, she goes to Julia and greets him. Later, happily, she goes adit to Julius ad Julium and salutat greets him eum. Let me see how that sounds. Later ad Julium adit eumque salutat. Aemilia viro suo osculum dat. Amelia gives her man a kiss. Osculum. Julius Amelia osculum dat. Julius gives Amelia a kiss. Give a kiss to Amelia. Quid agit Julia? What's going on with Julia? And remember, eat is going, so agit is like what's going on. Rosas carpit in horto. She's picking roses in the garden. Correte in hortum pueri et vocate eam. Run to the garden, boys, and car. Quintus currit. Quentin runs. Marcus non currit, sed ambulat. Marcus don't run, but walks. Julius imperat. Julius commands. Age curre Marque. Go, run, Marcus. Etiam Marcus currit. And so also Marcus runs. Pueri per peristylum in hortum currunt. The boys runs through the peristylum into the garden. Ilic autem Puella nonis. But there, however, the girl's not there. However, the girl's not there. Pueri ex horto per peristylum in atrium ambulat. The boys walk from ex horto, the garden, per peristylum, through the peristylum, in atrium, into the atrium. Julia neque in horto neque in peristilo es. Julia is neither in the garden nor in the peristyle. Is in the peristyle. Es ne sirra in horto? Is a sirra in the garden? Non es. She's not. Nulla anquila ilic es. No maid is there. Non solum Julia sed etiam Sira abes. Not only Julia, but also Sira is absent. Delia e ad cubiculum Juliae, says Amelia. Amelia says, Delia, go to the room of Julia. Delia ad cubiculum Julia eat. Delia goes to the room of Julia. Ostium pulsat aperit in cubiculum intrat. She knocks on the door, opens it, and enters the room. Ilic non solum Julia, sed etiam Sir es. Not only Julia is there, but also Sira. Oculi Juliae plenisunt lacrimarum. And the eyes of Julia is full of tears. Lacrimarum. Of tears. Veni in atrium, Julia. Come to the atrium, Julia. Ilic pater tuus te expectat. There, your father is expecting you. Julia oculos et nasum tergit. Rosam sumit e cubiculo exit. Julia wipes her eyes and nose, picks up the rose, and exit or leaves. Matter of fact, go, remember go is eat, right? X is out. Since you got a vowel right there, we have to put the X. So in our times, we got these signs that say exit. That just means go out. And go out of the room. From the room. Sira et Delia post eam exeunt. Sira and Delia leaves behind her. And exeunt is the plural for exit. Julia in atrium ad Julium currit. Eique osculum dat. Julia runs in the atrium to Julius and gives a kiss to him. Ecce Rosa non ne purpura es haec Rosa. Non ne purpura es haec Rosa. Say, look at the rules. Is it not pretty? Is it this rule is not pretty? Haec this. Nulla rosa tam pura es quam filia mea. No rose is as pretty as my girl, my daughter. Say Julius. Julius filiae suae osculum dat. Julius gives a kiss to his daughter. Iamne lacrima Julia, Is Julia crying now? See, put the need to the noun. Turn it to a question. Emo, later is it, read it. On the other hand, she is happy and laughing. Nom nasus meus foedus es. As my nose not ugly, right? Foedus, ugly, says Julius. Emo, time for formosus es quam hoc malum. Ecce malum tum, Julia. Ugly. On the other hand, your nose is as beautiful. It's as beautiful as this apple. Hoc malum. Look of your apple, Julia. Pater filiae malum magnum et formosum dat. The father gives to the daughter a large and pretty apple. Julia malum tergit et ante oculos tenet. Julius wipes the apple and put it before her eyes. Hold it before her eyes. O quam formosum es hoc malum, says Julia. Oh, what pretty apple is this? Puella laeta malo suo osculum dat. The girl gives the apple. The happy girl gives the apple. The happy girl gives her apple a kiss. They give a kiss to her apple. Suo. Malo suo. And they trying to say them in English form, but I leaving out the words that is important so you can learn exactly what's being said. I trying to short form and cut words out. Hoc pirum etiam tuum is, Julia. The spear is also yours, Julia. This is also your pear, Julia. Julius a pirum dat. Julius gives to her the pear. Jam puella et malum et pirum habet. Now the girl have both an apple and a pear. Etiam angelis meis mala et pira da, says Amelia. Also give da. Angelis meis, my maids, mala et pira, apple and pear. Julius angelis ad se vocat et iis quoque mala et pira dat. Julius calls to him the maids and gives to them also apples and pears. Ancilla laetae ex atrio exeunt. The happy maids exit out of the atrium. Cui Julius malum dat. To whom Julius gives an apple. Puero malum dat. To the boy, he gives an apple. Puer cui Julius malum dat es filius eius. The boy who Julius gives an apple to is his son. Cui Julius osculum dat, to whom Julius gives a kiss to. Puellae osculum dat, the girl he gives a kiss to. Puella cui Julius osculum dat, filia eius es. The girl who Julius gives a kiss to is his daughter. Okay, that's the end of this one. We'll see you in the next one. Walete.